Guilt and shame are emotional responses closely tied to our moral and social compass. Guilt generally emerges when we feel we've violated our own moral standards. It's an internal acknowledgement that we've acted against our values or caused harm to others. Shame, on the other hand, is more socially oriented. It's the painful feeling of being exposed, judged, or humiliated by others or even by ourselves. These emotions are powerful forces that keep people in line with societal expectations, often shaping our actions more effectively than laws or external consequences. Both emotions play essential roles in our interactions and decision-making. Guilt often drives us to make amends for our actions, motivating apologies, reparations, or self-reflection. Shame, though sometimes more intense, prevents us from behaving in ways that might damage our reputation or alienate us from our communities. Together, these emotions uphold social contracts, relationships, and an internal sense of accountability. But what if they disappeared? If humanity suddenly lost the ability to feel guilt or shame, the fabric of society would alter in surprising and sometimes troubling ways. In a world without guilt, there would be little motivation to apologize or make amends for one's actions. Without guilt as a driver, people may carry on without any impulse to repair the harm they've caused, no matter how severe. Similarly, the sense of shame that deters behavior like lying, stealing, or betrayal would no longer exist, meaning individuals might be more inclined to act solely in self-interest, with little regard for how their actions affect others. Without shame to regulate behavior, societal norms might look completely different. Consider the social norms around honesty, respect, or kindness. Many people adhere to these norms partly because of a fear of feeling guilty if they don't, or because they want to avoid public shame. Over time, without these emotional checks, society might redefine what's acceptable behavior, potentially leading to a more self-centered, less empathetic world. Relationships, particularly close ones, rely heavily on accountability and empathy. Guilt is often what drives people to make compromises or sacrifices for the well-being of others. In a guiltless world, there would be far less motivation to prioritize the feelings or needs of others, making relationships more transactional. People might see others as a means to their own goals, leading to more superficial relationships and reduced emotional depth. Friendships and romantic partnerships could become more utilitarian and less emotionally fulfilling. A lack of shame might actually encourage creativity and innovation, as people would feel less fear of being judged or ostracized. Artists, scientists, and thinkers might be more inclined to take bold, unconventional risks, creating a world rich in new ideas and expressions. However, without the sense of responsibility guilt often brings, these innovations could also lead to moral or ethical compromises, as creators prioritize their visions without regard for potential harm. Without shame, individuals would be far less concerned about societal approval. This could lead to an era of radical individualism, where self-expression, freedom, and personal desires become the primary motivators. On one hand, this could mean a society where people feel truly liberated to be themselves, unbound by the constraints of traditional norms. But on the other, the collective welfare might suffer as fewer people feel an obligation to contribute to their community, work towards shared goals, or uphold a sense of mutual responsibility. Ironically, while many people struggle with excessive guilt and shame, their absence could also have mental health consequences. People often use guilt and shame to learn from mistakes and to grow. Without these emotional experiences, individuals might find it harder to understand themselves or develop resilience. Psychological development could stall, leading to a population less capable of self-reflection, empathy, or personal growth. In imagining a world without guilt and shame, we're reminded of how deeply intertwined these emotions are with our collective human experience. Though often uncomfortable, guilt and shame have the power to regulate, connect, and drive us towards self-improvement. So while guilt and shame can weigh on us, they also provide us with moral anchors, help us understand the consequences of our actions, and connect us to each other in ways that laws and rules alone never could.